Hi, I'm Rob with LBJ Sports Medicine. Here today we're going to talk about concussions. Now concussions are a jarring to the brain caused by an impact. And concussions happen when the neurological pathways inside the brain get messed up. So today we're specifically going to talk about how to check for concussions and how to tell if athletes have them. So what we do here at LBJ is we do a SAC test. That stands for the Standard Assessment of Concussion. So it's a written test. We have here the SAC test form B. And so I've written on it a little bit, but you can find these on the internet and print them out. So I'm going to perform a test on you, and yeah, here's how it goes. You write down the name, the date of the exam, the time, and whether it's the baseline or a post-injury evaluation. So first I say, I'm going to ask you some questions. Please listen carefully and give your best effort. And the first couple of questions are orientation questions. They are, what month is it? What's the date today? What's the day of the week? What year is it? And what time is it right now? For each one of these questions, you get 1 point if you get it right, 0 points if you get it wrong. And then we move on to immediate memory. So I'm going to say a list of 5 words, and you're going to repeat them back to me in any order. The words are elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble. And I'm going to repeat this 3 times. Each time you get 1 point for every word that you remember correctly. So then, if the patient is showing symptoms already, which could be determined by checking their baseline and comparing it to this test, then if they're not showing symptoms, we're going to do some exertional maneuvers because those can bring out the symptoms. So then the exertional maneuvers include 5 jumping jacks, 5 push-ups, 5 sit-ups, and 5 knee bends. So like I said, if you really suspect they have a concussion but they're not showing any symptoms, you would do these exertional maneuvers, and those could hopefully bring out the symptoms you're looking to find. So say they're not, say they are showing symptoms, you would skip the exertional maneuvers and move on to the neurological screening section. So here is just some yes or no questions that don't affect the overall score. These are loss of consciousness, post-traumatic amnesia, retrograde amnesia. These are all yes or no questions. So you would just check the box if it happened. Then I'm going to do a strength test on the upper and lower extremities. On the upper extremities, I would have the patient go like this, push down on their arms and push up on their arms just to make sure they have equal strength in both arms. And then for the lower extremities, I'd have them sit down and I'd make them push against me with both legs to see if they're having equal strength with both legs. And if they don't have equal strength in both legs, that's an indicator of a possible concussion. So then I'm going to do some sensation tests, such as the finger to nose test, where they can stand straight like this, put their arms out, and they can keep their eyes open for this, but they have to keep their head straight ahead. And they can move their eyes too. They just can't move their head. And they're going to touch their finger to their nose just like this, alternating. You can make them go faster, you can make them go slower. But the idea is that if they have a concussion, they're going to miss their nose a couple times. So you're really going to emphasize they need to touch right there on their nose, not anywhere else on their face. And so then you can have them do the Romberg test, where they stand up straight and close their eyes, and you give them a little push from behind, and you would look to see them recover in just a couple of steps if they didn't have a concussion. But if they did have a concussion, they might tumble down. And so some more coordination tests we're going to do is a tandem walk, where they walk like this along a line, and the finger-nose-finger test, which is similar to the one that we already did, the finger-to-nose test. But you're going to have them touch their finger to their nose, and then you're going to have your finger out in front of them, and they're going to have to touch that finger. So pretty similar. And during all these tests, you're going to look for what's called an astigmas, and that's when the eyes, as they're tracking a moving object, kind of wiggle. Instead of a smooth track, they're going to jump around, and that's something that you get when you have a concussion. So after that test, then we're going to do a concentration test, where I say some digits and then the patient repeats them to me backwards. So I would say 493, and the correct response would be 394. And we do that, and every time they get 2 of them right, then we move on to 1 additional number longer of a string. So there's 4 of those, and each of those count for 1 point towards the total score. And then we do the months in reverse order. So you start with December, November, and you go on. And you get 1 point for having the entire sequence correct. And so then, if we hadn't done the exertional maneuvers, then we're going to throw in some balance testing to add a little time to the test. Because we want to have at least 2 minutes between the immediate memory and the delayed recall section, which we're going to do later. So for the balance error scoring system, we're going to have the patient stand with 2 legs straight first and their eyes closed for 20 seconds. And we're going to count errors. Now, an error consists of any time they kind of flinch or have to fix their balance or open their eyes. You know, a little wobbling is okay, but any like major flinching, that's a strike or an error. And so you're going to have them do it on 2 legs on a hard surface, and then we also do it on a foam surface using one of these foam pads. So 20 seconds on the hard surface, followed by 20 seconds on the hard surface of 2 legs, and then you do 1 leg, eyes closed, remember, and hands on the hips. 20 seconds, and you do it on the soft surface. Then you do a tandem stance, like this, and then like this. And then the last one that you're going to do is, that's all of them. So you just do a double leg, a single leg, and a tandem stance. And you add up all the errors. And if someone had a concussion, you would expect to see worse balance and more errors than if they didn't. So then, after we're done with that, we're going to the delayed recall section of the test, where we're going to re-ask for those 5 words that I said earlier, which are elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, and bubble. And the test taker gets 1 point for each one of those questions, each one of those words correct. So then we're going to add up all the points from all the different sections of the test, and it's out of 30. And so that score that they get, that's going to be their baseline, and we can compare that to once they get a concussion or have a suspected concussion. We'd expect to see them have a lower score. So if they were significantly lower after their suspected concussion, we could be pretty sure that they have a concussion. Just another way that we can diagnose it. So that's the SAC test. Thanks for watching.